Hello everyone and welcome back to another lesson. In this lesson, I'm going to teach you how to express your opinion in English. This is particularly useful for meetings, or maybe you're a student and you have to join in classroom discussions. You want to make sure that you communicate your opinion or your view very politely, but at the same time, you want to make sure that you're very clear. Now, before we begin the lesson, please do not forget to subscribe to the channel and give this video a thumbs up if you find the lesson useful. Thank you very much. Now, let us begin. One of the first things that you could do when you have to express your opinion is to say, I think that, or I believe that, or I strongly believe that. I'll give you an example. I think that we need to invest more in biodegradable products. I believe that we need to make sure all our clients receive their newsletters on time. I strongly believe that through advertising our company, we will be able to make more profits. Okay? Number 2, I am of the opinion that, for example, I am of the opinion that we need to install new computers in all our new offices. I am of the opinion that we need to buy new computers for the new employees. I am of the opinion that we need to address all the issues that the employers are unhappy with. Number 3, my opinion on that issue is that, or you can say, my opinion on that matter is that, or you can say, my view on that issue is that. I'll give you an example. My opinion on that issue is that we still have to look at all the emails that we received the last 2 weeks. My view on that matter is that it is a little bit too late to solve the problem. Okay? Number 4, you have made a very good point, but I am of the opinion that. Now, you would use this expression if the speaker who just spoke before you, or maybe your colleague, or maybe one of your fellow students in the classroom, has spoken about something, they have given their opinion about it, they have expressed their opinion about it, and you find that point to be absolutely useful. Okay? So then you could say, you have made a very good point, but I'm of the opinion that. So in other words, you give them credit for expressing a really good point. You acknowledge that their point is really valid, but on the other hand, you have a different opinion about it, okay? So you kind of acknowledge that your colleague has given a really good point, but at the same time, you express your opinion, which may not be in agreement with the point that has been raised by your colleague or a fellow student. Okay, so I'll give you an example. You have made a very good point, but I'm of the opinion that we should invite all the parents to discuss this issue. You have made a very good point, but I'm of the opinion that it would be better to speak to the client face to face. You have made a very good point, but I'm of the opinion that we need to ensure that every Friday we have all the orders for all the things that we need for the next week. Okay? Number 5, you are probably right, but in this case, I think that you are probably right, but in this case, I think that. So you would use this expression when you want to acknowledge that what the speaker just before you has said is partially right. Maybe there is some truth in what they have just said, okay? You are not dismissing their opinion or their view completely, but you're expressing the fact that you're a little bit skeptic whether the person is right or not. Maybe they're right, maybe they are not. Okay, you don't want to disagree with them because you're not very sure whether their point is right or not. So then you would say, you are probably right, but in this case, I think that. I'll give you an example. You are probably right, but in this case, I think that we need to contact the doctor immediately. You are probably right, but in this case, I think that we need to address this issue immediately. Okay? Number 6. I beg to differ with you in this matter because. I beg to differ with you in this matter because. Now, this is a polite way of disagreeing with somebody, okay? In other words, someone has expressed their opinion, they have expressed their view about something, and you disagree with them completely, okay? So to be polite, you could say, I beg to differ with you in this matter because, for example, I beg to differ with you in this matter because we are yet to address the previous issues that the employees are unhappy about. I beg to differ with you in this matter because the last few weeks we have made no profits. I beg to differ with you in this matter because, as we all know, we need to market our company using all social media platforms. Okay, so you would use number 6 to differ or to disagree with your colleague or a fellow student, okay? But you want to do it politely, and at the same time, you want to express your personal opinion. I beg to differ with you in this matter because then you give your reason why you disagree with them. Number 7, I disagree with you entirely because, or I disagree with you partly because. Now, entirely means completely. I disagree with you entirely because, or I disagree with you completely because entirely means completely. So you could also say, I disagree with you completely because, I disagree with you entirely because they mean exactly the same thing. But partly means that it's kind of 50-50. So what the person has just expressed, you agree with it and you disagree with it. So 50% you agree with it, but 50% you don't agree with it. That is when we use partly. So I disagree with you partly because, okay? I'll give you an example. I disagree with you entirely because I received a phone call from one of our clients this morning complaining about that issue. I disagree with you entirely because I received a phone call from one of our clients complaining about this issue this morning. Or I disagree with you partly because although you are right, we still need more time to ensure that our company policy is implemented fully. I disagree with you partly because we are yet to see the results of your hard work. I disagree with you partly because to achieve your goal, you still need to work just as hard as your teacher. Okay? So, use entirely when you completely disagree with the speaker or the person who's just expressed their opinion, and use partly when it's 50-50, when you agree and you disagree. So you agree to a certain extent with them and you disagree with them to a certain extent. Number 8, let us agree to disagree on this matter. Let us agree to disagree on this matter. Or let us agree to disagree on this issue. Now, you use this expression when you want to be diplomatic. For example, you have had an argument. Your colleague thinks A and you think B, and you've tried to convince them that your opinion is right, and they're not convinced. Instead, they are trying to convince you that their opinion is right, and you end up in some kind of argument, back and forth, back and forth. It becomes a heated argument to such an extent that someone might lose their temper. Now, to be diplomatic and to calm the situation, you could say, let us agree to disagree on this matter. Or, let us agree to disagree on this issue. What it means is, you are not wrong and I am not wrong. You have your opinion, I respect it. I have my opinion, you should respect it. Let us agree to disagree. Okay? Now, I'll give you an example. let us agree to disagree on this issue, because otherwise we will be talking about this and disagreeing about this until the cows come home, okay, which means for a long time. Let us agree to disagree on this matter, because I can see we are not going to get far with this discussion. Okay, number 9. Contrary to what you have just said, I believe that. Contrary to what you have just said, I think that. Now, you use this expression when someone has just expressed an opinion and you disagree with it. So contrary means opposite to, okay? Contrary to, opposite to, which means that the person has expressed an opinion about something and you don't agree with it at all. So then you would say, contrary to what you have just said, I think that. For example, contrary to what you have just said, I believe that the director needs to be present in all our meetings. Or, contrary to what you have just said, I think that it would be important if the director is present in all our meetings. That would be, for example, if your colleague has said it's not necessary for the director to be present in all your meetings. Okay, so you don't agree with that opinion. So you would say, contrary to what you have just said, I believe that it is important that the director is present in all our meetings. Number 10. I agree with you entirely. I agree with you entirely. Entirely means completely. So you could actually say, I agree with you completely, or I agree with you entirely. And you use this expression when you absolutely are in agreement with what your colleague has just said. You have exactly the same point of view. You have exactly the same opinion. I agree with you entirely. Or you could say, you are absolutely right. You are absolutely right. So remember to use this when you're in full agreement with your colleague. When you share their opinion, you think they are absolutely right. Number 11. You are spot on. I could not have said it better myself. You are spot on. I could not have said it better myself. Now you use this expression when you agree 100% with the point of view that has been expressed by a specific speaker or a colleague. Maybe you're sitting in a meeting and everyone is expressing their opinion about the agenda of the day. And one of your colleagues expresses a point of view, they express their view about something, and you totally agree with it. You absolutely agree with it. Then you can say, you are spot on. I could not have said it better myself. So you not only agree with what they have said, but also how they have said it. You are spot on. I could not have said it better myself. And then the last expression is, I'm afraid I have to disagree with you in regard to this matter, because I'm afraid I have to disagree with you in regard to this matter because I'm afraid I have to disagree with you in regard to this matter. You could also just stop there. I'm afraid I have to disagree with you in regard to this matter. Now, you use this expression when you don't agree with what someone has just said. You don't agree with their point of view, okay? But you want to be very polite in disagreeing with them. You want to be very polite in expressing the fact that you do not agree with them. Then you use the expression, I'm afraid I have to disagree with you in regard to this matter. I'm afraid I have to disagree with you in regard to this matter. Now, you could leave it at that, or you could explain why. In that case, you would need to say, I'm afraid I have to disagree with you in regard to this matter because. I'm afraid I have to disagree with you in regard to this matter because, and then you give your reason. For example, you can say, I'm afraid I have to disagree with you in regard to this matter because the last few weeks the company has not made any profits. Or, I'm afraid I have to disagree with you in regard to this matter because the rest of the students have also complained about this issue. Or, I'm afraid I have to disagree with you in regard to this matter because it is very clear that students prefer laptops to having computers. Okay? Now, this brings me to the end of this lesson. I hope you now have a lot more expressions to express your opinion in English, whether it is in your meetings or if you're a student in the classroom or in your day-to-day life. Okay? If you found the content of this lesson useful, please do me a favor, be kind, and hit the subscribe button. And give this video a thumbs up. That will help me grow the channel and upload more videos to help you improve your English in your day-to-day life, be it at work, be it at home, or simply with your friends and family. Thank you very much. Please, once more, subscribe to the channel. Bye-bye and see you in our next lesson.